to the Farmingdale School District's annual Wall of Fame induction ceremony. Let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Carla Stillo, and I proudly serve as one of the assistant principals here at Farmingdale High School. Additionally, I have the honor to serve as the chairperson for the Wall of Fame Selection Committee. I am pleased to be joined on stage by 5 wonderful students and presenters for the night. We are so delighted to have so many stakeholders of our community here with us to celebrate.
One of the goals of the Wall of Fame is that today's students will be inspired by our inductees to pursue their dreams and strive to one day be honored for their own accomplishments in a future Wall of Fame ceremony. Today we honor 3 Dalers. Our 2024 winners are Dr. John Balchuk, class of 2000, Mr. Bob Walagunda, class of 1963, and Mr. Greg Warnikowski, class of 1985. Tonight's event does not happen without the support of many, so we would like to take a moment to thank all of the people who have had their hand in this event today. We would like to thank our selection committee for all of their dedication and support, Mrs. Beth Garvey, Mr. Michael Hungerford, Mrs. Lori McLaughlin, Mrs. Evelise Powers, Ms. Daniela Dougherty, and myself. We would like to thank our Board of Education members, our Central Office Administration, our Principal, Mr. Jed Herman, Assistant Principals, Dr. Martinez, and Mr. Patronaggio. In addition, we would like to thank the FHS main office staff, especially Mrs. Betty Looney, the custodial staff, and our AD staff for all of their help.
Started in 1998, the Wall of Fame represents a very talented group of men and women who have been first responders, veterans, educators, chefs, doctors, entertainers, artists, business owners, and so much more. All are excellent role models who show us that with hard work and determination, we can turn our passion into a successful career. Tonight, we will hear from several of our current students who are journalists for our school newspaper called the Paper Lion. They will have the privilege of not only introducing our honorees tonight, but also writing about their accomplishments for our school paper. Now, we would like to introduce you to Jenna Beinlich, our student journalist who will be writing about our first honoree, Dr. Balchuk.
Administrating to people in need, whether in the healthcare profession or in the world of education, is one of the noblest paths a person can choose. Most people select either one in terms of careers, either healthcare or education, but administering care and health to both patients and students is deeply profound and mind-blowing. But this is what our Wall of Famer, Dr. John R. Balchuk, has done. He has both enriched the teaching profession with his experience as a teacher and a coach in our district, and he has ennobled the nursing profession with his dedication to healthcare. During the pandemic, he played a critical role in launching a hospital-based nursing assistant program that streamlined the process for those entering the healthcare profession. This program earned national recognition. Dr. Balchuk's list of accolades is astounding. In addition to holding many positions during his nursing career, including Director of Nursing Recruitment and Retention, Nursing Supervisor, and Educator, currently, Dr. Balchuk is an adjunct professor at SUNY Farmingdale. The common thread running through Dr. Balchuk's life is his deep sense of charity, especially in times of great distress. Not only was he instrumental in helping stem the tide of despair during COVID-19, but his experience in dealing with students cultivated his empathy. He is extremely mindful of self-care and advocates for nurses' social, emotional well-being. Dr. Balchuk has worked tirelessly to promote constructive channels for stress reduction, such as coordinating peer support groups. Additionally, Dr. Balchuk has always had a passion for hockey. This started when he was a Daler himself. He loves to use hockey fundraisers as a way to help people struggling with addiction, mental illness, and cancer. He loves to help children and youth who face disadvantages, illnesses, and related hardships. And he loves to always find new, creative, helpful ways to contribute to our world in positive, uplifting ways. Dr. Balchuk is an inspiration to all of us. We are incredibly grateful to him and all the work he has done. Congratulations on behalf of Farmingdale High School. It is our honor to induct you into our lovely Wall of Fame.
Dr. John Balchuk was nominated by Mr. James Capuano. Please welcome Mr. Capuano to the stage.
Great job, Jenna. I think you wrapped it up, so I'm good. All right. Today, I'm here to speak on behalf of John Balchuk. John is a good person who's made some mistakes in his past and has learned. Wait, sorry, it's the wrong speech. That was from his parole board hearing. This is the one. Today, we're here to acknowledge the accomplishments of Dr. John Balchuk. Yes, John is a doctor of nursing. If I drop with a cardiac issue, and somebody yells, "Is there a doctor in the house?" Technically, he can stand up. I'm still holding out for the cardiologist. I've known John since we both attended Northside Elementary School together. We were in the same grade and progressed through the Farmingdale education system together, ultimately graduating in the year 2000. Throughout the years, John and I played in the same Farmingdale rec leagues and played together on the high school ice hockey team. Our love for that sport of hockey did not stop after high school, as we both played junior hockey and are members of the Farmingdale alumni team. Throughout high school, John and I were in many of the same classes, including AP Physics. One day when our teacher asked if any of us were planning to focus on physics in college, John remarked, "Yeah, like I want to be a physician." Well, John is a man of his word. He's not a physician, John's a male nurse. In high school, John also played varsity football, part of a dominant offensive line that saw great success in our 4-year tenure. On that offensive line, John became adept at pushing people around, a perfect precursor for his career in nursing administration and management. John's wife, Lori, is also a Northside and Farmingdale High School alumni, and his 2 children, Joey and Juliana, are fixtures in our family's life as we remain close friends with numerous Farmingdale High School alumni, all of whom have young children around the same age, who have also become very close friends. John not only continues playing men's league hockey, but he played semi-pro football up until very recently, winning 2 national championships with the Long Island Eagles. If you ask, you might even be able to see one of the championship rings. I'm positive he has them with him. As for John's professional career, nursing was actually his second calling after pursuing a career in physical education after graduating from Adelphi University. Once he became a certified RN, he continued his pursuit of education in the field, becoming a board-certified nurse executive, a certified advanced cardiac life support provider and instructor, and holds a certificate in professional nursing development. He developed and implemented a New York State Department of Health approved certified nurse assistant training program to help replenish the nursing ranks after the pandemic, a program that was selected and presented at the American Hospital Association National Conference. He was also asked to present his doctoral dissertation findings on stress management for new RNs at a National Nurse Education Summit, and he will have that research published in the peer-reviewed Nursing Economic Journal. John has a doctorate in nursing, a level of education less than 2% of the people in his field reach. The achievement is not only a testament to his work ethic, but it speaks volume on his passion for his trade and his determination to better himself and the medical industry. During the pandemic, Dr. Balchuk, that's right, I'm calling you doctor. Pay attention, big boys, the first and last time I'm ever calling you doctor. During the pandemic, Dr. Balchuk led the Peconic Bay Medical Center as the Assistant Director of Nursing. He was boots on the ground at testing and treatment facilities and even worked at a local nursing home to oversee the protection and treatment of the elderly. He is always willing and available to answer questions related to any medical needs or issues and always answers the call as a friend. He gives back to the sport he loves, actively involved in charity and fundraising events with Northwell, the New York Islanders, and the New York Rangers. He's a great father. He's devoted to furthering his education and bettering his profession as a whole. He is a person I'm lucky enough to call one of my oldest friends, and he is a Daler for life. Congratulations, Dr. John Balchuk, and thank you to the Farmingdale High School.
Dr. Balchuk, please come up and accept this plaque on behalf of the entire Farmingdale School community.
I talked to Jim earlier, and he said he had a short speech, and I thought I was definitely going to be longer than his. But I don't know. I think he's going to have me beat. So good evening, everybody. I'm humbled and honored to stand here in front of you today. I want to thank my good friend Jimmy Capuano for nominating me. We've been sharing laughs since Ms. Hartman's kindergarten class at Northside Elementary School. He probably wishes the school lines were drawn differently back then, or he was born a year earlier, so he wasn't subjected to our friendship for the last 37 years. Jimmy is a fellow class of 2000 graduate of Farmingdale High School and a very successful professional, father, and role model, and I'm grateful for our friendship. Thank you, Principal Carla Stillwell, for organizing the Wall of Fame ceremony, the committee for inducting me, and to the students involved in this ceremony, we all hope to see up here down the road. I attended Farmingdale School District from kindergarten through my senior year, and I cherish the memories and lessons learned. My parents, who are here tonight, still live in Farmingdale. My parents instilled in me my work ethic and the importance of education, but most importantly, being a good person and a role model. My mom was a valedictorian of our high school and a registered nurse for many years, so I enjoy sharing stories of the profession with. My dad obtained every degree imaginable. His first job was working on the lunar module so NASA could send a few guys to the moon. Then he engineered nuclear subs during the Cold War while getting his judicial doctorate. So yeah, I felt pressure to do really good on those Regents exams. Down the block from my parents live my in-laws, who are also here with us tonight in attendance. Thank you for all your support and encouragement. I met my wife, Lori, class of 2001, back at Northside, bus 7. Although we were only acquaintances back in high school, she did toilet paper in my parents' house before homecoming because I was a varsity football player and she was a Dalerette. But it's because of being once a Daler, always a Daler, we were able to reconnect through mutual Farmingdale friends 11 years at high school, and now we share a wonderful life together with our son Joey and our daughter Juliana, who you've all been hearing. Lori, thank you. We started dating while I was in nursing school, and you've been my support and a huge reason why I have achieved success in my academic and professional career. There is a quote that says, beside every successful man, there is an even better woman. That is you. Thank you. So the truth be told, I wanted to be a teacher here at Farmingdale. I earned my bachelor degree in health and physical education, and even completed my student teaching requirements right here and was also a substitute. But there was a different plan for me, and I had to change course. And at that time, I reflected on the tough lessons I learned right here. I thought about educators that I had, Mr. Peter Mallory, Mr. Buddy Krumenacker, who's also now I'm with him on the wall. And thought about our 1999 Nassau County Championship football team, which was ranked #1 and the large favorite to win it all. And what happened is we lost our first 2 games. I was a starting offensive guard, and one of the strongest players on that team, though Mallory liked to point out I could bench press a Buick but couldn't squat myself off the toilet. I was benched the second half of that second game, and I was devastated. What Mallory and Krumenacker told me the day after was that no one's going to give it to you, kid. You got to earn it. So me and everyone on that team worked harder, and then we went on to pummel the rest of Nassau County Conference 1, including Massapequa. And I played every snap. I drew on that experience and guidance and support from my parents and siblings, Joe, class of 1994, the Wall of Fame inductee, 2011, and Christine, my sister, class of 1997. I made the decision to change directions and pursue a career in nursing. Changing from health promotion, prevention, and education as a public school teacher to a clinical professional in healthcare was a challenge. Nursing is a hard profession. I tell all the new graduates, nurses I work with, that stress is an inherent part of the job. And no one goes into this profession, or better yet, no one lasts in this profession who does not want to truly help people and has an extremely high work ethic. I have incorporated my passion for educating others and my athletic background into nursing. I completed my master's in nursing education from Long Island University, and my doctorate in nursing practice, where I focused my work on the professional transition of new nurses from student to independent practitioner. I currently am a clinical nurse educator and have been an adjunct professor at where else? Farmingdale. Along with football, I played ice hockey, baseball, and even track and field here. I threw shot put, no running. Heavy objects, no running. I actually started playing the Over the Hill gang at Allen Park this year, just to be back in Farmingdale, playing with many alumni. And of course, to point out where the old hockey rink was, where I broke Jimmy Capuano's nose playing roll hockey at the school. It was an accident. I wasn't mad at him. I'm still playing ice hockey, and for the last few years I've been volunteering with the New York Rangers and Islanders, playing alongside professional alumni to raise money for various healthcare initiatives. I look back on my 14 years as a nurse, and although it went quickly, I'm enamored with all that I've experienced. Working as a trauma nurse, taking critically injured patients off choppers, leading a hospital through a pandemic, being looked at to make the difficult decisions during very uncertain times, working extra during COVID as a supervisor at a nursing home to do anything I could for those who could not see their loved ones. Advocating so that New York Department of Health would change their guidelines so I could implement a hospital-based CNA training program to provide paid training and opportunities for those wanting to work in healthcare who just needed the opportunity to do so. Promotions or positions lost, setbacks in progress, these experiences, some joyful, some upsetting, all difficult, but all everlasting and impactful. I'll leave you with my advice for the class of 2024. Whatever you decide to do, college, trades, whatever it is, choose something hard. Be uncomfortable. Challenge yourself. Because as Jimmy Dugan said, the hard is what makes it great. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Belchuk, and congratulations. Now I would like to introduce you to Ethan Agnetti, our Paperline journalist, who will introduce to you our second honoree, Mr. Bob Robert Walagunda.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and honorees, it is my distinct honor to introduce a truly remarkable individual, one who has made significant contributions to his field and whom we proudly induct into the Farmingdale Hall of Fame, Mr. Robert Bob Walagunda. Bob's journey is a testament to the power of inspiration and mentorship. He often speaks of Coach Snyder as the most influential teacher in his Farmingdale career. Coach Snyder inspired Bob to always strive for his best, instilling in him the confidence and determination that would become the hallmarks of his career. As a mentor, coach, and teacher, Coach Snyder set an example that Bob had always cherished and sought to emulate. Bob's time at Farmingdale High School is filled with fond memories, particularly of his athletic endeavors. As an athlete and wrestler, he thrived on competition and the camaraderie of sports. These experiences laid the foundation for his later career as a high school and college wrestling coach. His time in football, track, and basketball at Farmingdale High School set the standard for what he believed a good coach should be. One of his most treasured memories is his high school graduation, a moment not of leaving the past behind, but of stepping into a future full of possibilities with confidence and ambition. Academically, Bob's favorite class was high school English. This class not only sparked his love for reading and poetry, but also provided him with the essential skills needed for his business ventures. The ability to write effectively was crucial in his career, particularly when he authored the Great American Balloon Book, published in 1981 by Prentice Hall in New Jersey. His English education was instrumental in his ability to communicate, write proposals, and deliver speeches throughout his career. Farmingdale itself has had a profound impact on Bob's life. Growing up in this supportive community and attending its excellent schools provided him with the perfect environment to develop his potential. He places great value on education and has ensured that his 4 children have had every opportunity for an outstanding education as well. One of the most defining moments of Bob's life was the Great American Balloon Adventure. At the age of 26, he embarked on a solo transcontinental flight across America in a vintage 1960 hot air balloon. This incredible journey saw him flying over iconic landmarks such as the Golden Gate Bridge, the Grand Canyon, Mount Rushmore, and the Rocky Mountains. It was an experience filled with hard work and unforgettable memories, marking the beginning of his professional life in a truly spectacular way. Tonight we honor Robert Walagunda for his dedication, achievements, and contributions to his field. His life and career are a testament to the power of following one's dreams with passion and perseverance. It is with great pride that we welcome him into the Farmingdale Wall of Fame.
Mr. Robert Bob Walagunda was nominated by Mrs. Glee Shea Baker. Please welcome her to the stage.
Can everybody hear me? Yes. Okay. Thank you very much for the introduction. Good evening to the school administrators present, faculty, students, community leaders, Farmingdale High School friends, and invited members of Bob's family. I'd also like to give a very special shout out to Bob's invited guest, Coach Don Snyder. I don't know if he's here tonight, I haven't seen him. I hope he is. I understand he's 98 years young, and he was Bob's football and wrestling coach while Bob attended high school here at the school. I'm honored to be standing here this evening to speak about my good friend and 63 classmate, Bob Walagunda, who has had an extraordinary life filled with many outstanding achievements. Before I speak to you and highlight some of Bob's major accomplishments, both personally and professionally, I would like to share one of Bob's very favorite quotes, which sets the stage for all that he has accomplished in his life, and the quote fits Bob to a T. The quote is by Leonardo da Vinci and says, "For once you have tasted flight, you will walk the earth with your eyes turned skywards, for there you have been, and there you will walk to return." As a young boy, Bob faced serious life-threatening health issues and spent enormous amounts of time in hospitals in and around Farmingdale. But even as a child, he was a dreamer. He was filled with awe of all things that fly. He would gaze into the sky at airplanes that flew overhead and would imagine that someday he would be able to pilot his own aircraft. Eventually, his health improved, and his spirit for adventure, his passion for flight, and his enthusiasm for life fueled his desire to learn to become a pilot. As a young teenager at Farmingdale High School, Bob focused his attention to aviation by working towards his fixed-wing pilot's license by joining the Civil Air Patrol. He was involved in many sports here at the high school: wrestling, football, track, basketball, and was one of the top wrestlers in our class, in our school, in Nassau County, and on Long Island. He became an All-American wrestler at Springfield College and was a runner-up in the U.S. College Wrestling Championships. He attended Springfield College and earned his bachelor and master's degrees. He wrote his doctoral dissertation while pursuing his doctoral degree in guidance and psychological service through the college. It was there at college that he saw his first hot air balloon in person, and from that moment on, his life was changed forever. He began training the very next morning with the excitement of a new adventure in flight. After graduation, he taught school for 2 years, and at the same time, with a dream in his heart and a head for business, Bob founded his own balloon business, Balloon Enterprises, doing business as Sky Promotions, headquartered in Springfield, Massachusetts, and then Princeton, New Jersey. This would grow to become the world's largest balloon marketing and management company with an impressive clientele of national accounts. His company would eventually create, design, and implement corporate balloon marketing programs for many Fortune 500 companies. He did this in an upscale and professional manner, allowing the Fortune 500 companies to see the promotional value of a floating billboard. Bob went on to become a master pilot, pioneer balloonist in the late 60s. Because of his leadership and impressive achievements in his field, Sports Illustrated magazine deemed him to the titles of the Dean of American Balloonists and the most renowned aerostatic aviator in America. He was hailed on the floor of the United States House of Representatives for his extremely courageous solo hot air balloon flight across the continental United States in 1971, and was written up in the Congressional Record on December 3rd of the same year. This flight is known as the Great American Balloon Adventure and was a nationally televised 1-hour documentary special directed and produced for Time Life Films. The film opened with his solo flight across the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, California, and passed many well-known monuments in the United States, and culminated in his landing in Central Park in New York City. A model of Bob's well-traveled hot air balloon named America and other artifacts of his life have been on display in the past at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. Bob is also the co-author of the Great American Balloon Book, and he took great pride in the fact that a copy of this book was given to every school library in the United States. He has been featured in Life, Fortune, Popular Science, Mechanics Illustrated, and many other publications. Bob is also the originator and producer of many major balloon races throughout the country in the 70s. He created and organized the first World Hot Air Balloon Championship in Albuquerque, New Mexico in February '73, and then created and organized the Kentucky Derby Festival balloon race near Louisville, Kentucky in April 1973. Within the last 3 months, both of these continuously running balloon races celebrated their 51st year anniversaries. Bob never forgot his Nassau County roots, though. In our bicentennial year, 1976, at the end of July and the early days of August, he organized the Spirit of '76 Air Show, Great Bicentennial Balloon Race, to celebrate the history of aviation in Nassau County, known at the time as the Cradle of Aviation, in the first half of the 20th century. Bob's company had 8 balloons, including the Bicentennial Balloon, participating in the event, which was held around Nassau County Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Bob also ran the oldest and largest full-service balloon company on the East Coast, featuring Up and Away Airlines, the world's only balloon airline, and provided a complete balloon piloting training facility and FAA certified repair station. From training balloon flyers to recruiting celebrities to the sport, Bob has been involved in every aspect of ballooning. He organized balloon events to highlight the profession, and further highlighted the profession by starting the International Professional Balloon Pilots Racing Association, where he was an instructor and an FAA flight examiner. There is no one else living today who can give you chapter and verse of the early history of ballooning. On a personal level, Bob has been involved with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, quietly providing last wish dreams of balloon rides to children and their families. He supports many charities near and dear to his heart, such as the JDRF Diabetes Foundation for Type 1 Diabetes, among others. He has coached wrestling on a high school and college level. Presently, he is assisting the New England Air Museum in Connecticut to showcase the history of ballooning in America. He is now completing a book written privately for his children, and is close to finishing another book on the early years of sports ballooning to document the history of the sport for those who will follow in his footsteps. Ballooning has been a true passion for Bob almost his entire life. He has lived his life well and enjoyed every moment of it in the process. I can sum up Bob's passion for life and who he is in 12 words. Dad, pop-up, adventurer, pilot, balloonist, author, optimist, entrepreneur, businessman, philanthropist, believer, and dreamer. I do believe that Bob has shown everyone that if you can dream it, you can do it, and you can live it. It has been 61 years since Bob graduated from Farmingdale High School, and it is truly an honor for him to be inducted into this school's Wall of Fame. Perhaps there will be another Farmingdale High School graduate who will look at Bob's plaque on the Wall of Fame and be inspired to follow his or her dream to reach for the stars. I would like to close my comments with a quote that is near and dear to my heart. It is especially apropos this evening for all of us that are here. The quote states, "Life becomes more meaningful when you realize the simple fact that you will never get this same moment twice." Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Mr. Walaganda, please come up and accept this plaque on behalf of the Farmingdale School community.
First, my deepest sympathies go out to the Pelletier and Ferrari families, as well as to the students and their families affected by the band camp tragedy last September. I'd also like to extend my condolences to the families of Susie Kadar and Sam Cohen at the Farmingdale graduates for the tragic accident in Washington State in early May. As a former student of Farmingdale, I know that we are all Dale strong. I'd like to thank Carla and the Wall of Fame Committee and you, Glee, for nominating me. And I'd also like to recognize my cousin Jenny, and a special shout out to my mentor and coach, Don Snyder. Full circle, it all started here at Farmingdale High School. I followed in Coach Snyder's footsteps and went to Springfield College and received the All-American Wrestling Honors and coached the Springfield College wrestling team in 1968. I went on for my master's degree and wrote my doctoral thesis in guidance and psychological services, teaching school for several years while simultaneously starting my balloon business in 1968 with a dream. Coach Snyder and all my coaches, Alboni, MacArthur, Nistad, Mulligan, inspired me to be the best that I could be. My teachers encouraged me to always strive for excellence. Thank you, Farmingdale High School, for this honor. For the honor would not be possible without the nurturing, the support, the encouragement, and the inspiration and believing in myself instilled by these masterful educators. You can be anything you want to be if you only believe with sufficient conviction and act in accordance with your faith. For whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Words of wisdom from Napoleon Hill. To the future student body, my message is simple. Strive, not only to be what you want to be, but be the best at it. Here are some guiding principles for our future students. Develop a positive attitude. Think positive, be positive, stay positive. Remember the words of Helen Keller, optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope. Follow your dreams. Live the life of your dreams. Faith is the bridge to all dreams. Always reach for the unreachable star. Use your imagination. As Albert Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination can encircle the world. Logic will take you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. Choose to be curious. Blessed are the curious, for they shall have adventures. As John Locke stated, curiosity in children is but an appetite for knowledge. Believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you can imagine. Believe in yourself, and you will be unstoppable. Set up SMART goals. Remember that a goal without a plan is just a wish. Write down your goals, set milestones, and revisit them on a daily basis. Stay focused. Consider and limit your distractions, such as social media, your frame of mind, your environment, and your willpower. Always try. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid not to try. Try and fail, but never fail to try. Be grateful. It is not happiness that brings us gratitude, but gratitude that brings us happiness. Develop an attitude for gratitude. Leave no regrets. Live life to the fullest. In the end, the only regret are the chances we didn't take. Have the courage to persevere. Embrace the fear of failure. Courage creates confidence. A head full of fears leaves no place for dreams and aspirations. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. You are your only limit. And lastly, be happy. Life is better when you're laughing. These are the principles that have guided me, and I hope they will inspire you, future students, on your journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Walagunda, and congratulations. Now, I would like to introduce you to Haley Timmerman, our paper lion journalist, who will introduce our third honoree, Mr. Greg Warnikowski.
It is not every day that one can say they have influenced the lives of those around them. And that is what's so special about our community here at Farmingdale. We are here tonight to honor 3 of these influential people as they are added to our Wall of Fame here at Farmingdale High School. Our Wall of Fame is a way of recognizing and honoring those who have touched the hearts of the Farmingdale community. It is my honor here tonight to speak about the incredible Greg Warnikowski. Mr. Warnikowski is not only a lifelong Daler, but is Farmingdale High School's Director of Fine and Performing Arts. He worked for 14 years as a middle school band director and 16 years as a high school band director. He has touched the lives of countless children throughout his years in our community. Mr. Warnikowski's most monumental moment as a student in Farmingdale was during his senior year when he had the opportunity to organize, rehearse, and lead the pit band for the production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat as conductor and pianist without any teacher involvement. He valued his consistent involvement in Farmingdale's music program as a student. He was involved somehow with almost every music ensemble our school had to offer. He played saxophone in the band and electric keyboard for the jazz band. He sang for the chorus as well as accompanied the chorus and orchestra playing on piano. He played piano for numerous fellow music students as their NYSSMA solos, recitals, and competitions. If there was music involved, you bet Mr. Warnikowski was there. But at the end of the day, what makes Mr. Warnikowski so important is his connection with those of the lives he's influenced. He says the greatest part of his career is simply seeing his impact. He's had countless former band students write to him, explaining it was because of his influence that they became music teachers themselves. His love for music radiates through all that he does, and even those he teaches, making their love for music even stronger. His career has come full circle in 2020 as he received the honor of becoming the Director of Performance and Fine Arts here at Farmingdale High School, where he is able to give back to the school community that gave him so much when he was a student, and is able to teach in those same classrooms which grew his own love for music and soon lead to his undeniable influence and success. Congratulations.
Mr. Greg Warnikowski was nominated by multiple sponsors, including Miss Cheryl Emma Golds and Mrs. Elisa Presti. We would like to welcome both to the stage at this time.
Good evening. Today we are here to honor and celebrate the three very deserving recipients of the Farmingdale Wall of Fame Award. One of these recipients, as you just heard, happens to be my brother, Greg Warnikowski, aka the present Music and Fine Arts Director of this great school district of Farmingdale. For many years, when periodically getting to revisit the halls of Farmingdale High School while my two older children attended, I'd walk by and stop to observe the many photographs and accomplishments of those who have previously received this award and thought, what qualifies someone to be bestowed with such an honor? My first thought was always, well, obviously you'd have to make it big or famous. But what does that mean? Perhaps you'd have to be an inventor of something amazing, become a movie actor, actress, or be a rock star singing and dancing on stage and be loved by millions of people. Fame. The word fame is defined as the state of being known or talked about by many people, especially on account of notable achievements. When Googling the question, what does it mean to make it big? Google states to become very successful or famous, like any other young budding musician, Greg always dreamed of becoming famous or of making it big. He was referred to by his professional piano instructor as somewhat of a prodigy due to his ability to play the piano classically at a very young age. Greg has spent nearly his entire life bringing the joy of music to others. His love of playing the piano began when he was the young age of 5. Throughout his years as a student here in the Farmingdale School District, he often accompanied musical performances and plays, and even directed the pit orchestra for the high school playcrafters. Growing up, my sister and I had the joy of listening to him play anything from a classical piece to singing and playing the many songs of Billy Joel. His passion for music and his natural ability for playing the piano continued as he attended Ithaca College as a music major in performance and education. While there, his love of being a classical pianist grew while he continued to perform and be recognized for his remarkable talent. It was at this time that he also realized the importance of music education in children. It is proven that music reinforces language skills, strengthens memory and attention, and builds and improves reading ability, just like it did for him, my sister, for me, and our children. It helped with self-confidence, a sense of self-accomplishment, fostered teamwork, provided us a safe social setting to make friendships, and most importantly, gave us a feeling of belonging. Very soon after graduating college, his journey into music education began when our mom made him, on March 13, 1990,
put on a suit, grab copies of his resume, and go district to district to see if any were in need of a music teacher. While at the light on Hempstead Turnpike and Wanter Avenue in Levittown, he noticed a school to his left and decided to drop in. He had never heard of the district, Island Trees. He went in and asked if they were hiring. The middle school wasn't, but they referred him to one of the elementary schools in the district that was. He immediately went there and inquired about it. There, he handed out the first copy of his resume to the school principal. Little did he know that this first stop would land him a job. Greg and I worked together in Island Trees, so I heard firsthand how he got his first teaching job. The principal at the time often told me and others that when Greg came in that day asking about a job, 3/4 into the school year and fresh out of college, she doubted he would be a candidate based on his lack of teaching experience. She then told him it was a general music position and he'd have to be able to play the piano to teach chorus. She brought him into the cafeteria and asked him to play something on the piano for her. She said that when he broke out playing Tchaikovsky's Sonata in G major, she nearly fell off the bench she was sitting on, listening in disbelief. Teachers began entering the room to hear who was playing, clapped, and said, "Hire him." Well, she hired him right there on the spot. That's where his career in music education began. For the next 30 years to the day, March 13th, 2020, Greg taught in the Island Trees School District. His time as a general music teacher was short-lived, only the remaining 4 months of that school year. He spent the following years there as the middle school band director and then the high school band director. There, he brought the music department to life, not only for the students, but for the Island Trees community, with faculty concerts that raised money for the music department. There, the music educators of the district displayed their talents for all to enjoy. During that time, he was part of NASA Music Educators Association on various levels, including president. There, he led over 1,000 Nassau County music educators to help provide all county experiences, scholarships, workshops for educators, and more. At the same time, he spent those 30 years as a professional musician, pianist, performing nearly every weekend. Greg loved his career as a band director. Like most teachers, the rewards of our position as teachers far outweigh the challenges. Making the decision to leave Island Trees was very hard for him. He knew he'd be leaving the job he adored, and most of all, the day-to-day connections he had with his students, teaching and sharing the joy of music. He finally made the decision to accept the position as Fine Arts and Music Director here at Farmingdale. His career has come full circle, being given the chance to come back to where it all started to lead this incredible high-level music and art program. In just a few years here at Farmingdale, Greg has proved that he embodies the qualities looked for when receiving such an honor. Elisa Presti, the Fine and Performing Arts Secretary, witnessed such qualities while navigating with Greg and the entire music and art department the many difficulties that, unbeknownst to him, he would face while undertaking this new position. Due to social distance requirements, COVID demanded many modifications and brought challenges to running the department. He did this with grace, while reassuring his faculty that their job could still be done with the many restrictions in place. Then, while our Farmingdale family was stricken by the unimaginable event that occurred this past September, despite feeling the loss himself, he ensured that his faculty and students received the comfort and support they needed, while still making sure, with the help of his incredible staff, that the program continued to run smoothly with the same excellence that it always has. He did this with compassion and empathy, while at the same time being a true leader. When taking on this role, he never imagined he'd become somewhat of a public figure. Whether it be speaking with television news people, newspapers, or government officials, he always represented Farmingdale in a way we could all be proud of. Under Greg's leadership, the music and arts programs continue to excel. The department has again received the NAM Foundation Award for Best Communities for Music Education, and they've continued to have an above-average number of students selected for all county, all state, and all national music, in addition to art honors for state and local contests. You see, Greg, you did make it famous, big. Your notable achievements fit the definition of fame. You are recognized and talked about by others, including me. You have met with success in various forums of the music industry. You have many followers who enjoy listening to you, your Jimmy Buffett tribute band, and the numerous musical groups you are a part of. There are countless brides and grooms whose weddings were made memorable due to the quality entertainment you provided them on their special day. You've made it big in the eyes of the thousands of students you've inspired and brought the love of music to. Many of them found a safe place to belong and learn in your band room. Greg, your profound influence has encouraged many to become music educators and performers themselves. This, of course, being the greatest accolade there is. You are an integral part of this community. You've kept the music playing here in Farmingdale and continue to use your talent and love of music to bring joy to others. Thank you.
Mr. Greg Wardakowski, please come up and accept this plaque on behalf of the entire Farmingdale School Committee.
So I'd first like to say thank you for making me 10 years younger. I know I don't look my age, right? It's class of 1995, you said before, but it is indeed class of 1985. And I am so honored and thrilled to be here. Thank you to our wonderful students, Danielle Doherty, Sarah Aliendro, and Haley Timmerman, for speaking on my behalf. Great job tonight. Thank you to Cheryl Emmy-Holtz for those incredible words. I hope that I can speak half as well as you just did. You made me sound pretty good, and I really appreciate that. And Elisa Presti, for both of you, for taking the time out of your busy schedules to nominate me for this incredible honor. I am so appreciative. And the musicians that were performing here, can we have a round of applause? And seeing so many of my staff, my music and art teachers here during this very busy season for music and art in the fine and performing arts. It's like we have something nearly every evening in May and June. So this just really warms my heart to have all of us together in one room. Thank you so much to Carla Stillwell and all the members of the Wall of Fame committee who spent so much of their time reviewing applications and tasked with the very difficult job of selecting from many Farmingdale graduates. With that, I congratulate my fellow inductees tonight, Dr. John Balchuk and Bob Walagunda. I am honored to be inducted alongside two exceptional individuals. Well, I better be honored because we will be right next to each other on that wall for eternity. So that's a pretty cool bond. We just met tonight, and I like that. But tonight, I am humbled, I am honored, and thrilled to be inducted to the Farmingdale Wall of Fame. As a student, I didn't realize how lucky I was to be involved with a music department that is second to none, and one of the best on Long Island, if not New York State. Okay, maybe I am just a little biased, but I bet that many people would agree with me and that statement. When I was a student, I just assumed every school district had an extensive high-level music program like this. During my school days at Woodward Parkway, Mill Lane Junior High School, yes, for the young kids here, Saltzman Elementary School used to be a junior high school that I attended as a 7th grader. And then I went to Howard as an 8th grader and Farmingdale High School from 9th through 12th grade. So many of my music teachers from elementary through high school went out of their way to afford me incredible musical opportunities. I would love to speak about all of my teachers who inspired me, but it literally would take hours. The musical training I received during my high school years at Farmingdale prepared me very, very well to go on to become a professional musician and music educator. There were two teachers who were most influential to me, who gave me opportunities to grow into a performer and a musical leader. My high school band director, Mr. Brad DeMilo, and playcraft director Ken Ulrich, who I am so honored to say are here this evening. Brad and Ken, would you two please give a wave to everybody?
band. I played alto saxophone in band, marching band, and jazz band. I still remember like it was yesterday, sweating at band camp, which back then was held in Camp Alvernia, as Mr. DeMilo taught us the marching band drill, and then it seemed like just weeks later, freezing to death at the Newsday Marching Band Festival at Hofstra. I remember vividly auditioning for Mr. DeMilo to play the solo with a new hit tune back then. I'm dating myself, but Africa was a big hit by Toto, where I got to go up front on the field at Newsday and play the solo. Mr. DeMilo selected me to play piano for the jazz band beginning freshman year, which led to my parents buying me my first electric keyboard, and I thought I was so cool because it had some cool sounds on it. I seem to remember Mr. DeMilo even thinking it was pretty cool, as my dad would help me lug that heavy keyboard into the band room for those evening rehearsals. And as a senior, Mr. DeMilo chose a piano concerto just for me to perform with the wind ensemble. I'll never forget having the Baby Grand rolled out on stage and performing Slaughter on 10th Avenue by Richard Rodgers, accompanied by my peers in the wind ensemble. Do you remember some of these things, Mr. DeMilo? It's been about 35 years. I don't know, it's been a long time. These are only a few examples of experiences that prepared me well for my studies in music school as a performance major and music educator. When I became a band director myself, I remember thinking back to how Mr. DeMilo ran rehearsals, how he conducted, and what band literature he would choose, and it helped me succeed as a new band director. However, the best part was when I visited Farmingdale High School for the first time since becoming a band director, and I said, "Hi, Mr. DeMilo." And he said, "Well, now that you are a fellow band director, I guess you are going to have to start calling me Brad." Well, 35 years later, I finally got comfortable with that, so thank you, Brad, very much. Ken Ulrich. Wow. We do have a lot of stories to tell, considering I was involved in all 8 Playcrafter productions, and we practically lived in that auditorium for those few months before each show. Although I was a very young 14-year-old 9th grader when I became rehearsal pianist for my first show, Oklahoma, Ken always treated me as though I was a professional pianist, and we worked well together rehearsing the musicals. Although very strict when rehearsing to keep the shows on a high level, which they were, he would joke with everyone in the cast and give out nicknames, and I remember him calling me Broken Fingers, the Polish Prince, and others that only you could get away with in the 1980s. In fact, I remember how I used to leave the piano to socialize with my friends whenever there was dialogue and a music break, and Ken would be yelling for me, trying to find me to get back to the piano. Well, one day he played a joke on me and had the stage crew come out with rope and whatever they could find, and they literally tied me to the piano. Again, stuff you could only get away with in the 1980s, and we all laughed about it. In my sophomore year, Ken decided for the spring show to do a drama, Dracula. I was disappointed it wasn't a musical. Well, he found a way to include me in this show. There was an organ in the auditorium back then, and Ken had me open the show by playing the part of the mad organist, where I wore a tuxedo with tails, a powdered wig, and I walked into the auditorium with a lit candelabra in the dark as I dragged my left leg across the entire pit, making my way to the organ, like in one of those spooky black and white movies. And I began the show by playing Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor. Junior year, somehow Ken got the rights to put on the US premiere of a Tim Rice musical called Blondell. And I actually played a dancing and singing monk on stage, just trying to do something different. What an experience it was to have Tim Rice himself pull up in a limo and watch our show and give us notes afterwards. But it was senior year that truly changed my life. I'll never forget when Ken told me we were going to put on a rock musical, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. He offered me the opportunity to not only be a rehearsal pianist, but put the pit band together, be the conductor and musical director as a student. I have to say that experience working with and directing my fellow student musicians and actors on stage was a pivotal moment when I realized I had the confidence to be a leader in the music world. So thank you, Ken. Can we have a round of applause for Bert tomorrow? I also need to thank someone who was not my teacher, but I have known her since I was in high school, Rita Patton. Talk about fate. One day my wife and I decided to go see my nephew play with the Farmingdale High School marching band at the football halftime show. We're sitting in the crowded stands, and I see Rita Patton standing on the track. Excuse me. She turns around and somehow notices me in the crowd and waves to me and then tells me, "Come over, I gotta talk to you." She then confides in me that she is retiring as the Farmingdale Director of Fine Arts and has told no one yet, but she saw me. She said she was worried about who might take over for her and who will truly care enough about Farmingdale when she leaves. She told me I was that person. I will never forget that day. I was so honored that Rita would think that highly of me and trust that I could lead this incredible department. I am so thankful to you, Rita, for believing in me and always there to help if needed. Thank you. There are also so many Farmingdale staff members, some here tonight, who I was friends with as fellow music educators who also believed in me and put a good word in for me to become the next director. One of those people was my friend Gina Pelletieri. When Rita told her I was interested in the job, she would see me at various musical events around Nassau County and say, "Dude, you've got to come to Farmingdale. That would be so cool." And I remember her saying to me later, after we worked together for a while, "You are truly a Daler through and through. We got to get you up on that wall of fame someday." Well, Gina, it happened. And I could feel your spirit here tonight with all of us. It certainly has been a very difficult year for everyone in Farmingdale. Thank you to our superintendent, Paul Beffendini, for always supporting me in our fine and performing arts department, whether it was navigating COVID, somehow keeping a 300-member marching band 12 feet apart, or dealing with the unimaginable events that occurred this past September. We could not have gotten through these really tough times without Paul, Dr. Jen Olson, Sam Thompson, Michael Ferretti, all of our central administration, the Board of Education, principals, directors. We all pulled together as one Farmingdale family. I work with such an incredible group of colleagues, administrators, and teachers alike. I am so proud of my music staff and my art teachers and all that they have accomplished despite so many obstacles. I am blessed, truly blessed, to have all of you in my life, and I am so honored to stand up for this program. Thank you to all my teachers who are here tonight to support and celebrate with me. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that our department could not have achieved all that it did this year if it wasn't for two absolutely incredible administrative assistants, Elisa Presti and Jennifer Sparaco. Their actual titles should be Organized Chaos Advisors. That's kind of what it should be, and I even got them coffee mugs that say that, because it really is organized chaos in the music and art world, but it's a good chaos. I am so truly blessed to work with both of you. You are always one step ahead of me in running this very large department, and you're always there for not only me, but every single one of our art and music teachers. And Elisa, thank you again for nominating me for this honor. And finally, I must thank the most important people in the world to me for their unconditional love and support, and that's my family. Many of them are here tonight to celebrate with me. My mom and dad are here, who never ever missed a school concert or sporting event, and always found a way to pay for private music lessons for me and my twin sisters, Cindy and Cheryl. Thank you, Mom and Dad. We really appreciate all that you've done to support us. My sister Cheryl, who is an amazing elementary teacher, who I was so proud to work with in the same Island Tree School District for 27 years. Again, I thank you so much for nominating me and always being there for me. And my equally supportive sister Cindy, who cannot be here tonight because she is a busy doctor of pediatrics in Rochester, New York. Mom and Dad, you did good. My brother-in-law, nieces and nephew, my uncle and aunt, thank you so much for being here tonight. We have Uncle John here tonight, class of 1949, right? Farmingdale class of 1949 right there, Uncle John. So it is really wonderful to have everyone here tonight. Thank you to my three amazing children, Kristen, Katie, and Greg, who have grown into incredible adults, for always understanding when I had to miss so many of your milestone events because I had a performance or school event that I had to attend. In fact, Kristen, who I am proud to say is the Bethpage High School band director, could not be here as she has a mandatory rehearsal with the Long Island Wind Ensemble, typical in our family. And my daughter Katie now lives in Pennsylvania, working as the Assistant Director of Enrollment Marketing for the University of Scranton. And my son Greg is here tonight, and I'm proud to say he just graduated May 18th from Marist College, summa cum laude, and finished #1 academically in his degree of finance. So proud of him. Very proud dad. And lastly, thank you to my beautiful wife, Lori, a fellow 1985 classmate who I actually didn't meet until after college. The classes were quite big back then. But that's a story for another time. And was a Woodward Parkway elementary teacher for 8 years before staying home to raise our children. Well, Lori, you did a hell of a job. I can say with certainty that I would not be standing here tonight if it wasn't for all of your undying support and sacrifices, as you never held me back and always allowed me to pursue my professional aspirations. I love you, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this incredible honor, and thank you all for being here tonight.
Thank you so much, Mr. Warnkowski, and congratulations. I don't think the night would be complete unless we honored all your work with the fine and performing music in our art department. We have our brass quintet here tonight to pay tribute. Thank you. Wasn't that wonderful? Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of our speakers. First of all, I want to thank, and if we could get up and get an applause for Sarah Alejandro and Daniela Doherty. They have been part of this whole process since the beginning, so they were part of the Wall of Fame committee. Their vote were instrumental in you three being inducted tonight. So, and I thank you for co-hosting the event, and you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much. Also to our Paper Lion journalists, Haley Timmerman, Jenna Beinlich, and Ethan Ignetti. I am confident that all 5 of you have all the characteristics to one day be on the Wall of Fame yourselves. Thank you. To all of the honorees on this wonderful and well-deserved recognition, thank you for participating in this event. Some of you have come from quite the distance, and we appreciate the ability to recognize all of your achievements. To our Board of Education and Central Administration, many of which are here with us tonight, thank you for supporting this important event that highlights the Baylor spirit. Thank you most of all to the community who believe in the power of the Wall of Fame and take the time to nominate deserving individuals of this very special honor. Congratulations to all of our inductees and their families. We are so pleased to add individuals to our Wall of Fame that have taken what they have learned in these hallways, in these classrooms, on these sports fields, and in all these sports fields, and have impacted the world. We will share your inspirational stories and messages with our students. This concludes this evening's presentation. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night. Enjoy some refreshments and safe travels. Thank you so much.